In a world where we have gigantic phones, we're talking the iPhone 11, the iPhone 11 Pro, the iPhone 11 Pro Max, the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, the Pixel 4 XL, so many of these big phones that are out nowadays, some people question why in the world Apple made this. This is the iPhone SE 2020. Ta-da! It's very unassuming. It may be even what some people would consider outdated when it comes to design, but don't let that fool you because it has an A3 Bionic chip in it. It has 3 gigabytes of RAM. Yes, it has a 720p resolution. Actually, it's like 750, but whatever. You get the picture. Not a whole lot of things that people would say look like the year 2020. Of course, the year 2020 is a complete train wreck, so thankfully we don't have phones that look like 2020, but it doesn't have Face ID. It doesn't have 2 or 3 cameras on here. It doesn't have a wide angle lens. It doesn't have a gigantic screen or a 3-day battery, but you get the latest and greatest processing power that Apple brings to the table. 3 gigabytes of RAM, which is tons for a phone this size. Wireless charging. You got enough battery to get you through at least 5 hours of screen on time during the day. And the best part is that it's only $399. $399 to start. That gets you 64 gigabytes of storage. You can up that for another $50 and get 128. This phone has a wide range of curb appeal for a lot of people, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you have a $800,000-$900,000 phone, if you've had a phone in the last year or two, this phone is not for you. If you're using an iPhone SE OG model 2016, if you're using an iPhone 6, 6S, 7, any of those numbers, this is going to be a fantastic upgrade for you, and you're totally going to love it. And if you've got an iPhone 8, you don't really have a lot of need to get it either, but this is a solid device with an amazing price point, and it brings a ton to the table, and now we're actually going to talk about it instead of listening to me ramble on. So before I get into this, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, I appreciate you being here. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you can get updates on all the latest videos. Now, let's take a look at the iPhone SE 2020. All right, so after that brief intermission, here we are to talk about the phone. Now, I'm not going to go too crazy in-depth with a lot of things on it. I did my 72-hour review. Not a whole lot has changed since then. I'm still getting about 5 hours of screen on time. That's with about 10% of the battery left. I'm pretty much getting the 20% at 4.5 hours. But the nice thing is, if you top it off to get to 50% from 0, it only takes you half an hour. It takes like an extra hour and 15 minutes to go to 50 to 100, but that's pretty typical. Now, the screen resolution, nothing crazy to write home about. This is not a groundbreaking phone in the sense of technology, specs, and screen size. We've seen it before. This is basically an iPhone 8 with an upgraded processor, upgraded memory. It even has the same size battery as the iPhone 8. And if you're wondering about accessories, I have accessories on the way that I bought for the iPhone 8. I bought a Nomad case, I bought a Mophie battery case. So if you're in the market for some cool accessories, you can go check those out on eBay, Amazon, wherever, and you can get some because it's the exact same frame. Now, talking about the phone itself, the performance is great. We're using iOS 13, which is the same as the iPhone 11, the iPhone 11 Pro, the Pro Max, everything that's basically out on the market right now that's come out in the last 3 years. The software experience is the same, except, ta-da, we got Touch ID. We've got the home button, and if you're coming from a phone that doesn't have a home button, there's a little bit of muscle memory that you have to rebuild, but otherwise it's not that painful. It's actually kind of nice because if you want to take a screenshot, you can go back to pressing the power button and the Touch ID button. Kind of nice. You can actually shut this phone down just by pressing the power button. It's really nice. And if you see something here, it's very easy to hold one-handed. You can type away with just one hand. You can lay in bed and just hold it like this. It's really nice. There's a lot of things about this phone that I like because of the form factor. Now, I come from using a Samsung Galaxy Fold as a daily driver. I've also been using the LG V60, gigantic devices. So it's very possible to comfortably switch over to this from a larger phone. Now, if you're in the iPhone world and you're using like an iPhone 11, iPhone 10s, 10s Max, there's no reason to go out and buy this phone unless you just have nostalgia. You want the home button and you're not happy with the form factor. And I think some people missed the boat when it came to that. This is not a phone to convince people to downgrade. It's not even so much a phone to convince people to do a lateral cross from, like, let's say an 8 or maybe even something like the iPhone 10, which is a couple years old now, because you're not really going to get much bang for your buck in that. You're really going to get essentially the same experience. The camera, it's really good for $399. Is it as good as the iPhone 11 Pro, the Pro Max? No, it's not. And you don't get the other crazy things like the wide angle lens. You don't get the telephoto zoom. But here are some camera samples. You can see these. I'm very happy with it. And when you talk about happiness, it's not just I'm settling for a $399 phone. It legitimately works well, and it takes good quality pictures. The selfie camera is nice. It's perfect for FaceTime. It's perfect for selfies. It works great. It looks good. You're not going to have any complaints when it comes to the camera. That's all I'm going to say about it. The camera, one camera, it's great, works good. Camera on the front, works great, looks good. You see the camera samples, there you have it. When it comes to other things you have, IP67, water and dust resistance. You can drop this in the water up to 1 meter for 30 minutes. QI wireless charging, you can go that route. It's great if you've got a wireless charger sitting on your desktop. It uses lightning port. The speakers are actually pretty good. It does use both speakers, the handset speaker and also the bottom firing speaker. The volume is pretty good. I don't have any complaints here. It's not super crazy loud like some more modern phones are, but it does kind of, it's a small package here. There's not a whole lot going on. You also have to worry about battery too. You can't sit there and run it down. But that's really the biggest concern, I think, when it comes to this phone is the battery life. And I've had a lot of questions about it. I'm averaging about 4.5 to 5 hours of screen on time. That means the phone's on, I'm actively using it. You're not saying it's got a 5-hour battery where you take it off the charger at 8 and it's dead by noon. You can make this work for you, especially if you have the adaptive brightness, if you use dark mode. I'm not using dark mode. I frequently turn the brightness up quite a bit because I don't like to look at like a real dull screen, but using some of the battery saving measures like that, you can stretch it out further. I've seen people talking about getting 6.5 hours of screen on time. It's possible. So it all depends on how you want to use it. It'll get you through the day. I don't really find myself needing to plug it into the charger till about 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. So effectively, this will get you from when you wake up in the morning all the way till you get off work in the afternoon. It'll get you basically through a day. When you get home, it's time for dinner, plug it into the charger or top it off, before you get ready to leave work, and you'll be good for the rest of the evening, basically. So yeah, that's the only real hang up. And I picked up a Mophie battery case. Of course, you're limited by the different colors and stuff, but they do have a product red one they're like $20-30 on eBay, brand new. So, if you want to check one of those out. I'm really enjoying this phone. It's refreshing. Here's the case for my Ultra. You can see, look how much room that you've got in there. It's just absolutely ridiculous what we're dealing with here. Gigantic phone, normal phone. This is like the phone size of yesteryear. People were happy with it for a while. There, I think, was supposed to be a plus size model, but due to everything going on, I think that it just didn't come out. They're saying maybe next year. That might be great too. 5.5-inch screen, 5.5-inch screen rather. Yeah, that might be cool too. But this is what we have now. It's sleek. It looks good. I love this product red. It also comes in a black and a white color. I think they're a little bit more on the boring side, but this right here just, it looks fantastic to me. And if you're wondering if you can come over from a larger phone, you can. If you're coming up from a previous phone like the 7, the 6S, the 6, you're really going to enjoy how snappy it is, how nice. It's just good. And then the other thing is, it's a great phone to get into the Apple ecosphere. You can get your Apple Card if you want. You can use iTunes. You can use Apple Pay. You can get the Apple Watch. You can use iMessage across your iPad, Apple TV Plus, so on and so forth. I still prefer this. It's simple. It's fast. It's great. It's got one heck of a typing experience because I love typing on the Apple keyboard. And if you're wondering, if I'm just going on and gushing about this phone, I'm excited about it because it's nice, it's refreshing, it's enjoyable to use. I paid for it myself out of my own money. It's not getting returned back to the store, none of that crazy stuff. I am keeping it and I'm using it. It's just a nice phone. It is what it is. And you don't have to worry about Did I have to spend $1,000 to get an iPhone? And I made a video like a year or two ago where I was just kind of ranting about the fact that the phones are so expensive now, the iPhones. I don't like spending $1,000 on a phone. I don't like spending $1,100, $1,200, $1,300. That is a lot of money. So to have something that works as well as this, that has the same performance and processor as the latest and greatest phones, but for $399, I don't really care if it has a wide angle lens. I don't really care if it has a home button. It doesn't have Face ID. Whoopity-doo. It's $399. It's great. All right, so that's all I've got on the iPhone SE 2020. And it's pretty much it in a nutshell. I mean, we've seen this. It's nothing new. It's just new. I mean, it's basically they remanufactured the iPhone 8. They put the new chipset, added some memory, and voila, we're done. So it's a really solid phone. It brings a lot to the table. You're not going to be disappointed if you buy it. The only concern, like I said, is the battery life. You can mitigate that by getting a battery case. If you want something that's going to last you for 2 days, this will do it. And you can get the iPhone 8 accessories to do it, which saves you money over newer price stuff. So that's all I've got. Kind of did a little bit different angle on this time. Hopefully this has been an enjoyable video. Hopefully if you're interested in the phone, this answered some of the questions for you and gave you the information you needed or the reassurance to go out that it's a good phone. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you can get updates on the latest and greatest. And I'll see you guys next time.